Ready?
It's Big T.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl T. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we are going to be prepping our tumbler for, it's a storyboard tumbler that we are going to make. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am using Rust-Oleum Gloss White. This is what it looks like. And I have taped off the bottom and the top rim so that we do not get spray paint anywhere that we do not need it. You want to do this in short bursts, and you just want to turn it. Don't do this near your car. You don't have to do the bottom because nobody's going to see the bottom. So don't worry about doing your bottom. And then once this dries, we are going to then epoxy it. All right, guys, so I'll see you for part 2. All right, y'all, I am back. This tumbler is now dry to the touch. I'm going to take a cup of Mod Podge and a brush, and we are going to do nice even coats of Mod Podge. Now there is one spot where the tape was down too far. Was not down further enough, and it didn't get spray painted, but guess what? Nobody will never know because I'm not going back to respray paint that part. And like I said, you just want nice, even, thin coats. You don't want anything too thick on here, because if you get it too thick, then you may have a problem when you go to put your storyboard tumbler back together. So all I'm doing is just doing nice, even coats all around the tumbler. And once we get it evenly coated, I am going to then put our glitter over it. I will then seal the glitter. Y'all don't mind the dogs in the background. They're eating like they don't have any home training. So just nice, even, thin coats all around the tumbler until you get nice, even coverage. And I'm debating if I was debating if I was gonna just use the Counterculture DIY to seal the glitter, but I'm just gonna spray it with the Krylon spray. And you don't have to worry about the bottom of your tumbler, and by bottom I mean that, because it is going to be it's not going to be seen, it's not going to be visible, so we're not going to worry about that bottom. Now where I have the tape at, once my glitter seals, I will then fill this with hot glue. Some people fill it with something, some people do not. You do what works for you. I'm gonna do what works for me. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I will be filling in that bottom with some hot glue, and then I will put the Gorilla Glue over the hot glue, just to make sure we have that seal, because you want to make sure that you are not that nothing can come out. That's the point of that. Okay, all right, so I think I got nice even coverage here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour my glitter. I do have a pan that is down here that you all cannot see, and I probably should have put a piece of parchment paper down. Hang on just a second, let me get some parchment paper for my or I use a piece of aluminum foil, just so I'll be able to pour my just so I'll be able to pour my glitter back into my container. The glitter that I'm using today, it's fine cut, it's 0.10, and it's called Dragon Ice, and I do not remember where I got this glitter from, sadly. I've had this glitter for a long time, so I don't remember where I got it from, but I will show you in case you recognize. So this is the glitter that I'm using. It's called Dragon Ice, and again, I do not know where I purchased it or remember where I purchased it from. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to take our tumbler and we're just going to let it rip. And you want nice even coverage, and you do want to shake it off as you go along. And I am going to try and cover up top. Oh, I guess y'all would like to see me pouring the glitter, right? All right. So as you can see, we do have it nice and covered. And again, you just want it to get it as even as you possibly can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these pliers and I'm going to knock off the excess, okay? So I have the excess knocked off. And then now I'm going to go outside and seal this. So I will meet you outside. Okay guys, so we are outside and I'm using this Krylon glitter blast clear, and it is a sealer. So I'm going to seal in this glitter, and then once we seal in the glitter, we are going to put it back on our turner. Y'all, why is this so hard to come off? Please don't let the tumbler fall. All right, and you want to make sure you shake it up really, really well. So I'm maybe a little far out. Let me see if I can bring you guys in some. I can't, but I don't want to be near the vehicle. So hopefully you'll be able to see me this way. And then you're just gonna spray it, turn it. You're gonna turn it as you're spraying it, just to make sure you are filling the glitter. And I saw a little piece of something on there, so I grabbed it off. All right guys, so that is the glitter sealing process. Now I'm just gonna take you guys right on back with me back in the house, and we're going to prop this on the turner, and probably for about 15 or 20 minutes. And whoops, once it dries for 15 or 20 minutes, then I will meet you guys back to put the epoxy on it. So we are back. As you can hear the Frenchies in the background. All right, so I'm just going to prop this right back on my turner here. Whoops. There we go. We're gonna put this back on the turner, and we're going to let it spin. Wrong one. There we go. So as you can see, that is spinning and turning. So about a good 15 or 20 minutes for it to dry, and I will meet you guys back to put the epoxy on. All right guys, we are back. Pardon the wash machine in the back because my husband is doing laundry. All right, so I am mixing up the epoxy. The epoxy that I am using is the Craft Resin brand. My Amazing Quick Coat by Alumilite. It has a little yellowing in part B, so I was like, yeah, no. So I'm just mixing this up, and then I am going to turn the camera down so you guys can see. And I do have some alcohol nearby. See, hold on a minute, guys. It is, I have a fly that I need to catch before so I will be on a fly hunt after this, because this fly cannot under any circumstances get on my cup. So I'm just gonna lightly drizzle this up the tumbler, and I'm just gonna take my finger and go all around the tumbler. You want this to be as smooth as possible, and I'm only bringing it down to the bottom of the tumbler, to the edge I meant, not the bottom, because remember, the bottom will not be able to be seen, so we're not worried about the bottom. If you get resin around the top, that's what you're going to use your alcohol for. And again, I'm just going to lightly put the epoxy on here because I don't want it too thick. Do not want it too thick, because you're going to put resin in the top under that ridge, and you don't want it thick. You want it real thin so that you will be able to get the what am I trying to say, y'all? So that you'll be able to get the lid that goes with it back under there where it's not real thick. So I'm only gonna use about 20 mLs of this. I just really, and right here where you see that tape at, you can just literally take a knife, a craft knife, when you get ready. And you wanna make sure this is really smooth. The epoxy, you want the epoxy to be really smooth. You don't want to feel that glitter at all. So if you can feel the glitter, that means you don't have enough epoxy. So wherever I still feel glitter is where I'm still putting the epoxy. My turner is self-leveling, so any of the epoxy that needs to fall off will fall off. And right there just feels bone dry, so of course that means I didn't put any there. Another spot of bone dry. Y'all, I know it seems like I'm putting a lot on here, but I'm really not. I'm just trying to make sure that we get this as smooth as possible. And keep in mind, you may have to do more than one coat. But my goal is to get this as smooth as possible. I want it smooth like butter. And like I said, I'm not really worried about around the edge. I'm going to take alcohol and wipe that off anyway, but I just want to make sure. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, y'all have been looking at I didn't realize that it had failed. So I'm just gonna hold it with one hand, show you guys what I'm doing. And I actually ran out of space, so I'm in my kitchen filming this. And all around the edge up there where you see epoxy going at, I'm going to take a paper towel with some alcohol on it and just go around all of that, because I don't want epoxy under there yet, because we have to still put our clear acrylic piece on. Okay, and again, I'm just going around, just making sure I don't have any dry spots, like the dry spot that I feel there. So where I feel dry spots at, I will add epoxy. And it is one dry spot right there. It's another one right here. And what I mean by dry spot is you can literally tell that it's not enough epoxy there. And like I said, you may have to do this 1 or 2 times, but you want it nice and smooth before you put your decal on. Because my decal, my decal would be my last step before I pour the glycerin or any of that in, okay? And remember, I'm only bringing it to the edge, right, the epoxy to the edge right here. I'm not bringing it doing the bottom because it's not going to be seen. So there's no need to waste that epoxy. And y'all, this is my very first storyboard tumbler, so if I have misstated something or done something incorrectly or something that you do not do, doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that's the way I learned how to do this, okay? So I do not claim to be an expert in this, but we're gonna follow through this together and see what we come up with. And I feel a little dry spot right there. And I usually try to only use one finger because one finger is going to help you keep your lines at a minimum. Like right here, this is so dry. And for this to be a fine cut glitter, it's kind of scary. And if I catch epoxy dripping down here, I just take it. All right, so I'm gonna leave that with expecting to have to do a second coat. So we're gonna let this turn for about 12 hours. All right, guys, so that's it for now. I will see you back in 12 hours. Okay, guys, so we are back with our decal on. Just one little imperfection. It's sealed. I'm not gonna worry about it. Again, it's the first one. So here we go. So what we are getting ready to do now is we are going to take our tape off from around the rim, and then we are going to seal our top back on our cup, okay? Making sure you have some alcohol nearby, just in case you happen to get any of this on the rim. And it should peel right off fairly easy. And I'm just gonna take the X-Acto blade. Sorry guys. I'm just gonna take the X-Acto knife and get that little piece off of there. Tap the bottom and blow it out, okay? So this is what we, first off, I need to learn to put the blade back on, cap on right. So this is what we are looking like. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to put down in here just because I don't want, hold on, making sure this is the bottom. Okay, so this is the bottom. And just like I heard that click just now, that's the click that I'm looking for when I glue it down, okay? So that's that. I'm going to use the Gorilla Glue epoxy. And then I will also perhaps mix up some regular epoxy. Actually, because I don't know how. Jesus Christmas. Trying to grab a cup out of here. And I'm just gonna push this Gorilla Glue epoxy down in here. Now it says this stuff sits in 5 minutes. I don't know if it does or if it does not, but I do know I'm catching hockey sticks to get it out. So let's just, nope. So I thought this would work, but it's rather hard to get out of the, it's a little hard to get out of here. So what we're going to do is cap this off. And I'm going to mix up some regular epoxy. So give me just a second. Let me grab a glove. Okay guys, so I got a metal stir stick as well as a tongue depressor. And I'm going to mix up just a real little bit of this quick coat epoxy by Aluminite, because we're not gonna need much for this, because we're only gonna seal the top and the bottom. Then we're going to let this dry for about a good 8 hours or so, maybe even 12 hours, just to be safe. Making sure that it's dry before we add, and I'm just going to mix this just before we add any of our vegetable glycerin in it and our glitter. Now the glitter that I'm going to add to it, I may just add like some, I think I have some glitter that has like some stars or something in it. So it'd be like some shaped glitter, okay? All right, and I may not even need that stir stick, but yeah, nah, we're gonna use the stir stick, because what you wanna do is you wanna take your stir stick and you wanna lift it up off. You don't wanna make this messy. Hopefully you guys can see this. I got some right there. And you want to make sure you put this all the way around the rim on the inside, because this is going to be your seal. You want enough to, I'm gonna turn this on the side so I can grab it. You don't want it to be really thick, because you want the cup to be able to close, but you wanna make sure that you get it down in there. And where I have epoxy up there on the top, I'm going to take alcohol and get that out, that off of there, man. So I can see on the inside that I'm coming around. Y'all. So I got a little bit more to go. Okay. I'm trying to get y'all a good view, but it's hard to see. In here as well. And I'm trying to do this rather quick because I want to get this sealed on there. Sorry you hear the Frenchies in the back. They want to get out of the kennel and not time for them to be out quite yet. So So guys, I'm just repeating this all the way around. So sorry if you're not able to see this, because I need it as close as possible to me to be able to see. But I'm trying to get, making sure that I get down in here. And again, the epoxy that's coming on the rim, I'm not really worried about it because I'm going to take an alcohol on a piece of paper towel, and I'm gonna wipe the rim really, really well. Okay. So we are almost there. This is for this to only be 12 ounces, it sure is a huge 12 ounces. And on the bottom, you only want to, I'll show you when we get there, because you have to seal your cap on the bottom. Y'all. And as you can see, this is time consuming. So you want to make sure that while it's time consuming, that you are actually trying to get this in a good seal, because you don't want anything to come back out your tumbler. No leakage, no spills. You don't want any of that. Okay, so that right there. All right, so I'm going to take a paper towel from over here. I'm gonna put some alcohol on it, and it is 99% rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to go around the rim of this, and it comes off really, really easy. Okay. All right. So now that we have our epoxy off, I'm gonna set that there. And we're just gonna slide this down, and you're gonna push down as hard as you can, and you're listening for a click. Now again, I'm going to go around just once or twice more, because I want to make sure that I don't have any epoxy on this rim. And that's gonna get anything off that I might have around here, okay? And I'm going to let that sit just like that for about 8 to 14 hours. And then we will do a I'm also taking alcohol and wiping off my stir stick. And then we will come back and do a test on it and also seal our bottom. Our bottom is the last thing that we will seal. So I'm gonna leave that sitting right there. And again, that will be left in that position for about 8 to 12 hours, if not longer, okay? So this is what it is looking like. We have all of our epoxy off. We went around it and we're just gonna let that sit just like that. All right, guys, I'll see you back shortly. Okay, guys, so we are back with our tumbler. It's been epoxy, it has its glitter, and as I stated, this hole we would fill it with hot glue. So that's what I am going to do here. So I'm trying to get it where you can see it. So all I'm gonna do is just fill this with hot glue. Some people don't fill this with anything. Some people fill it with hot glue. You do it what works for you. I'm just merely going to fill it with hot glue because I feel safer doing it that way. Give me just a second because I need to add another hot glue stick in here. And the brand of glue gun and glue gun sticks that I'm using, it is the Gorilla brand. Not that it matters which brand you use, but some people like to know what we use in the video. So, and you're gonna just keep refilling your glue gun until this starts to come out of the top. And this is about day 3 or 4 on this cup. I've already put 2 layers of epoxy. We are not going to see the bottom, so therefore we're not going to worry about the bottom. So we're going to check, and we are right there at the top, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to stop mashing the glue gun, and I'm just going to set it down. So far this is what it looks like, and I'm just going to smooth that over. And when it dries, I will, sorry guys, when it dries, I will just take this off of the top, and I might be able to get a little bit more in there. Let's see. And you don't want anything to be left on the outside of this tumbler. So now what I'm going to do after I get all the hot glue from around there, because I just want to make sure it's nice and clean. So when we go to put the cap on, we don't have any problems. So see, like I still have stuff on that. I want to clean all of that off. And from around it. And I do see a piece of tape and epoxy. I'm going to pull that up. Okay, guys. So this is what I have, okay? So then what we're going to do is I am going to take a piece of, Gorilla Super Glue tape, okay? And what I'm going to do with this Gorilla Super Glue tape is I'm going to cut off a piece. Big enough for this hole, okay? So and this stuff is sticky. So like that, and I'm just going to grab my scissors and cut it off. Okay. And I'm going to lay that back down on the roll. So this is what we have, right? So what I'm going to do is I have to find, you got to take this backing off. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing it on there. And then I'm going to find me a corner that I can peel up. Like so. And that's that hole. So it's now got super glue over it, filled with the hot glue. Sorry guys, I don't know why I was struggling to remember my words there. And now I'm going to take some Gorilla Glue and just put over that that hot glue. Now some may say that's overkill, but again, you don't want anything coming out at all. You don't want anything coming out. So I'm going to let that dry on there like so. Let me see if I can get a better angle. All right. And that's literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry. And what I mean by let this, I'm not going to even really let it dry. Because what I'm going to do is now take my y'all, I can't get my words out today. I'm going to take the heat gun, Jesus Christmas, and I'm going to dry that on there, okay? All right, so this is the heat gun, and I'm going to just dry that on there like so that we ensure we have no leakage. All right, so that is that, and we're gonna let that all right. So now the next part of this, what we are going to, let me throw this in the trash. The next part of this, what we are going to do is, I'm going to get this mess up as I go along because I don't really have the time to do this later because I'm trying to straighten up. Now, this is the warm water that I have over here. Well, it was hot. It's been sitting. So now what we are going to do is we are going to submerge our decals in this water. So I have some water here. Hopefully you guys can see the water. And this is our decals. I'm going to go ahead and put our decals. Let me unplug this hot glue gun. There we go. So I've unplugged everything so that can stop dripping and all of that good stuff. So these are clear. Ooh, look at there. See, didn't take long. So these are clear water slides. Now, what I'm going to do is, because it's already moving. Now, I did not wet the area down because, geez, I didn't have time, so to speak. So let me try and straighten this out to the best of my ability. And we're gonna go ahead and get this on. Okay. So I'm just going, you can use a silicone brush, you can use your fingers, you can use whatever works for you. So I'm using my fingers and it is working just fine to smooth that out. And you just want to keep the area as moist as possible until you get it on there. So because our other one is coming up, I'm gonna go ahead and start working with it as well. You have to be really careful with these because you do not want them to rip or tear on you. And again, guys, this is my first time making a storyboard tumbler. So this may or may not be the way that you do it. I'm going to slide one of these up closer to the top. Because you want this smooth. So when you go to lay that epoxy, it has something. Because you don't want this to show if you have lumps and bruises under it, okay? Lumps and bumps and bruises, that's what we're going to call it. So we're going to shape up. Look at that. I messed that one up. I'm really thinking I'm going to take this one off for a second. I'm thinking the butterfly is really all we're going to need. Because I don't want to take too much attention away from the glitter. And see how right here you can still see that glitter shining through. And that's what we want. We don't want to take from the butterfly. Okay, so woo, I gotta get this soaking wet just so it will lay flat. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put this on your turner, which you guys will not see me take this to the turner, but I'm gonna go pop this on my turner for a few, and I'm going to let it dry, okay? And so this is what we have so far, okay? So guys, I will be back after this dries and I have it under epoxy. Hey y'all, so we are back with what I think is day number 5 perhaps. And we have let this sit. It has a secure grip. It's not going anywhere, can't move it. Pardon if y'all hear the dogs in the background just panting and carrying on like she's crazy because she ran off. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the pure vegetable glycerin and some water and a little bit of fine cut glitter, okay? So that's what we're going to do today, and then we will seal the bottom part of our tumbler. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab some water because we need to make sure that our tumbler isn't going to leak, which by that seal, I'm almost pretty sure it's not going to leak. So we're going to go ahead and this water back in here because you want the vegetable glycerin to go down first. Y'all, I'm trying to record this whole video in my kitchen because we're out of space in the bathroom. So we are trying to get that vegetable oil down, and the water will help it slide as well. So I'm gonna try and fill the vegetable glycerin up to probably about right here, and then we will fill the rest of it up with water. This was, for my first time, this was very fun. It did not seem to be really difficult. At first I was intimidated. I only made one mistake, so I'm glad for that part. So we're going to just let the rest of that settle down, and what we may do is push it down with a little bit of water to help break it up. And this this vegetable glycerin is really thick, so you have to be patient with it. You have to be really patient with it. Yes, you're gonna see bubbles because that's what vegetable glycerin is. Y'all, I'm sorry. The dog is just panting away, getting on my nerves. And all I'm doing now is just kind of tapping it down. Just kind of trying to see where our vegetable glycerin is. And I'm going to take my stir stick right here too and just help it on down and around. Because like I said, this is very thick. You have to be really patient with it and just help it go down. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit out into another cup, and that's just to help it try and go down some, because it's so thick. And I mean, this is thick. So you wanna do what you can to help it go down. I'm gonna pour some more of it out. Now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour some water down first. Go ahead and see if we can get that water on down. Let me put this back in here. Geez Louise. Whoops. Okay, so we have a bunch of, I'm just trying to make sure our oil is settling on down. And it looks like this filled up with a bunch more oil than I really thought was in here. All right, so we're gonna pour a little bit more oil out. And this vegetable glycerin oil, what I don't use, I will not pour it back into my container. Simply because I don't know which, if any of it got contaminated. So what I want to do is I'm going to put the bottom on. before we seal the bottom, I'm just going to check to make sure we don't have any holes or anything that is going to stop us from getting a good seal. And I already see that where the we don't have, there we go. So now it's moving around. So you want to shake it up and down, up and down. And this is going to be our snow globe turner. But I think, let me grab a paper towel over here. And I'm just going to get some alcohol. Because what I'm doing is just checking to make sure I have enough water, enough glycerin, and to me it does not seem like we have a lot in here. And again, I'm just wiping off the edge. So I'm going to unloosen this, and I'm probably going to add, no, it's all the way up to the top. So let's see, maybe if I add just a drop of vegetable glycerin. That should be that, okay? So now what I'm going to do around this inside seal here is I'm just taking alcohol and I'm just merely wiping everything. I'm going inside this cap from where I tried to put it on, and I'm drying everything out, okay? And what I'm about to do is I'm about to seal the inside. I'm about to seal the inside of this cap in here and around here with epoxy. So let me pour this water out of here. And I'm gonna use this cup because I'm gonna dry it out. Going to dry it out. And you don't need a whole bunch of epoxy. I wish, I'm gonna attempt to try it one more time. This Gorilla epoxy, I want to try it again. And so all I'm gonna do is push this around, and then I'll take a stir stick. And try and get down in here, y'all. I don't know if this is, I still don't have like a whole lot of strength in this hand. Can you come push this down a little bit?
Can't eat it now. You got this shit stuck.
Stuff.
Shit. Oh, I'm sure. Care about that YouTube shit. No more?
No.
Now lick it up.
You lick it up. All right, y'all. So go around inside, and you want to go all the way around this cap on the inside edge, because you want to make sure that you get in there very, very well. And y'all, I mean, you have to get like down in there really, really well. Because if you don't, you're not gonna have a great seal at all. So actually, we're gonna push for a little more epoxy in here. All right. And we're gonna stick that in some alcohol momentarily. So what you wanna do is you wanna press down, and you wanna make sure that you have your cup sealed on tight so that the epoxy has no chance of getting out. Then you're going to take some alcohol. And take you some more alcohol, and you just want to go down your stir stick, making sure that you get all the epoxy off of there. You want to go over your cup. And then I'm just gonna put my stir stick up here. And then I have tightened this down. And I'm just gonna take alcohol and I'm gonna go up the whole entire cup, ensuring that we don't have anything else that is gonna cause us to break our seal. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm turning this upside down, and we do not have a leak, but this is our storyboard tumbler. I could have put more in there, but I wasn't sure. So again, I only went with a little bit. But that's our storyboard tumbler. It looks amazing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.